Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here today. I want to start by saying something that might sound a bit harsh, but it's the truth. You need to kill the weak version of yourself. Now, I know that sounds extreme, but I want you to really think about it for a moment. The version of you that makes excuses, the version of you that waits for motivation to show up, the version of you that procrastinates because it's easier than facing the discomfort, that version, it's holding you back. It's keeping you stuck, playing small and leaving your true potential unrealized. But here's the thing. You don't have to stay stuck. You have the power to rebuild yourself into someone stronger, someone who can overcome those obstacles and rise above the noise. It's not going to be easy, and it's certainly not going to be comfortable, but the process of becoming that stronger, more disciplined version of yourself is the key to unlocking the life you truly want. Today, I want to dive into this idea, why it's necessary to destroy the weak version of you, why discipline is the bridge to the future you dream of, and how rebuilding yourself, though painful, will ultimately be the most powerful thing you can do. Because the life you want is waiting, and it starts with the choice to break free from everything that's been holding you back. Let's talk about how to do just that. You already know who that weak version of you is. It's the one who hits snooze even though you swore last night you'd get up early. It's the one who scrolls for hours, avoiding the work, numbing the discomfort, rationalizing all the excuses. That version of you? It's not just holding you back. It's actively destroying your potential. Every time you let that version win, you shrink a little. You lose a little. You abandon your future just to feel comfortable now. And here's the truth you might not want to hear. That weak version of you is not going to suddenly disappear. You have to kill it. You have to look it in the eye and say, not anymore. Because that weaker you is not some abstract part of your personality. It's a daily choice. It's a pattern. It's a habit. It's a quiet agreement you make with yourself to stay average, to stay safe, to stay small. And killing that version, it's not some flashy moment. It's a series of tiny, brutal choices. It's choosing to get up when you're tired. It's choosing to speak up when you want to hide. It's doing the thing you promised, long after the feeling you had when you made that promise has passed. And yes, it feels like hell. Because killing the weak version of you means going to war with the easiest parts of your life. It means being honest with yourself about what you tolerate, about what you've allowed, about where you've been letting fear dress itself up as logic. That weaker version will beg to stay. It'll use every tool it has: comfort, doubt, even nostalgia. It'll whisper that you've changed too much, that you're pushing too hard, that maybe the life you dream of is unrealistic. But you know what's unrealistic? Thinking you can build something extraordinary while staying ordinary. There is a voice inside you, and it's not loud. It's the voice that's been drowned out for too long. It's the voice that whispers, you were meant for more. And maybe you've ignored it. Maybe you've told it to shut up. But it's still there, and it's still waiting. The problem is that voice can't coexist with the weak version of you. One of them has to go. And the longer you delay, the more that weak version takes over. It becomes your default. You don't even notice it anymore. The self-sabotage, the procrastination, the low standards. You call it normal. You call it balance. But deep down, you know better. This isn't about perfection. This is about refusing to live one more day pretending you're not capable of more. It's about burning the bridge between who you've been and who you could be. The weak version of you is scared, and that's fine. Fear is part of the deal. But if fear is in control, you're not. So you kill that version, not once, but every day. You kill it when you do the hard thing. You kill it when you stop negotiating with your excuses. You kill it when you show up over and over with no applause, no praise, no certainty, just grit. Because when you remove the weaker you create space for the stronger one. The one who's been buried under years of hesitation, second-guessing, and comfort. The one who's been watching, waiting, ready. You don't need to feel ready. You need to feel done. Done with mediocrity. Done with compromise. Done with playing the background in your own damn life. You can't build a new life with the tools of your old one. You need to demolish it first. That weak version of you, it's not your truth, it's your trap. And the only way out is through action. Aggressive, disciplined, relentless action. Not tomorrow, not next week, now. The longer you wait, the louder the lies get. the more convincing your excuses sound. The more your comfort zone becomes a prison cell. Kill the weak version. Mourn it if you have to, but don't you dare keep it alive. Discipline is the line in the sand between the life you have and the life you want. It's not glamorous, it's not inspiring, it's not sexy, it's not the thing people post about or write quotes on their mirrors for, but it's the thing that builds everything else. You don't get results because you had motivation one day. You get results because you showed up every day. Discipline doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't care if it's raining, if you're tired, if you're overwhelmed, if no one's watching. Discipline doesn't wait for permission. It doesn't need validation. It's the quiet force that gets the reps in when everyone else is making excuses. And that's what makes it powerful, because the distance between who you are and who you want to be is paved with repetition, not inspiration. You don't need another podcast. You don't need another morning where you wake up fired up and crash by lunchtime. What you need is to stop negotiating with your feelings. Discipline means doing the thing even when every part of you is resisting. It means dragging yourself through it when the spark is gone, when the results are invisible, when it feels like no progress is being made. That's the test. That's the line. Most people quit because they think discipline should feel good. It doesn't. It feels boring. It feels lonely. It feels like rejection and repetition and silence. But that's the price. That's what it takes to build something real. Not just hype, not just a phase. Real change, real growth, real transformation. Discipline is choosing structure over chaos, even when chaos feels easier. It's waking up early not because you love mornings, but because you've decided that the future version of you deserves better habits. It's putting your phone down not because you're not curious, but because your time is too valuable to waste on other people's noise. It's going to the gym when you're sore, reading when you're tired, studying when your brain is screaming for a break. Discipline is sacrifice. It's saying no to things that used to define you. It's giving up comfort in exchange for clarity. It's building momentum, inch by inch, while everyone else is still talking about getting started. People will tell you they don't have time. What they don't have is discipline. We all get 24 hours. The difference is how you use them. Discipline turns those hours into something that compounds, something that stacks, something that builds. Undisciplined time dissolves. It leaks into distractions, into comfort zones, into regrets. That's why discipline is more than a habit. It's an identity. It's not what you do once in a while. It's who you decide to be. You become the person who follows through, who keeps promises to yourself, who doesn't need to be told twice. That kind of self-respect is built in private, in the dark, when no one is clapping and everything in you wants to stop. There's a cost to being disciplined. But there's a cost to not being disciplined too, and it's higher. You either suffer now through effort or suffer later through regret. You either get uncomfortable building what you want or stay comfortable stuck where you are. Most people aren't willing to carry that weight. They want the outcome, but not the process. They want the reward without the grind. And that's why they stay where they are. But the ones who rise, the ones who change, they understand that discipline is the path, not the punishment. It's not something to resent, it's something to own, something to weaponize, something to build your foundation on. You want freedom? Discipline is how you earn it. You want confidence? Discipline is where it's built. You want peace? Discipline is what silences the noise. You don't rise by accident. You rise because you outwork your excuses, you outlast your doubts, and you outdiscipline every part of you that still wants to stay the same. Rebuilding yourself hurts in a way that most people never talk about. Everyone loves to talk about growth like it's this beautiful, empowering process. But what they don't tell you is that it often starts in the wreckage. Real rebuilding doesn't happen when things are good. It happens when something breaks. It happens when you wake up and realize that the person you've been is not enough for the life you want. And that moment, it's brutal. It's raw, it's filled with doubt, fear, and this crushing realization that if you want to change, you have to destroy who you've been pretending to be. There's no smooth transition into the next level of your life. There's only destruction and reconstruction. And that hurts like hell. You're not just letting go of bad habits. You're letting go of identities, the way you think, the way you speak to yourself, the way you've operated in the world up until now. All of it has to be challenged. And there's grief in that. Because even though the old version of you was limited, it was familiar. You knew how to exist in that skin even if it was suffocating. You knew the rhythm of that life even if it was holding you back. Rebuilding means stepping into unknown territory where nothing feels certain and everything feels exposed. You don't get to skip the discomfort. You don't get to fake the growth. You either face the pain or you repeat the cycle. That's why most people stay stuck. They start the process, feel the pain, and run back to what's comfortable. They mistake discomfort for failure. But discomfort is the price of progress. If you're not hurting a little, you're not stretching enough. You're not pushing past the version of you that's been playing small. Growth doesn't always feel good, but neither does staying the same. That's what you have to understand. Staying the same might feel safer now, but it comes with a quiet kind of suffering, the kind that builds over time, the kind that eats away at your confidence, your energy, your fire. It shows up in your tone, in your posture, in your decisions. It shows up when you avoid challenges, when you hesitate, when you stop believing in what you're capable of. That's the slow death of potential. Rebuilding is violent in its own way. It's the tearing down of the lies you've told yourself. It's staring your patterns in the face and admitting that you've been the one holding the chisel, carving out a smaller life than you're meant for. No one's coming to save you from that. There's no shortcut, no mentor, no book, no secret code, just you, raw and unfiltered, deciding to do the work anyway, even when it sucks, even when you feel like a fraud, even when progress feels invisible, because that's what rebuilding looks like. Laying one brick at a time, in silence, with no applause, no guarantee, no certainty, just faith, just effort, just consistency. And here's the hardest part. Rebuilding means letting people go. It means walking away from relationships that were built around the older, weaker version of you. It means disappointing people who only loved the version of you that stayed quiet, that stayed small, that stayed safe. And that loss, it's real, it's heavy. But you can't build something new while clinging to what was. You can't rise while carrying the weight of who you were trying to be for everyone else. Rebuilding demands honesty. It demands isolation. It demands time. You don't get to keep the same habits, the same crowd, the same mindset, and expect a different life to show up. You have to become unrecognizable to the old you. That's what true transformation looks like. It's not some pretty quote about self-love and bubble baths. It's waking up early when your body says no. It's studying when your mind wants to shut down. It's training when you'd rather rest. It's showing up again and again until your actions are louder than your doubts. It's outworking every version of you that tried to quit. You're not rebuilding just for aesthetics or achievements. You're rebuilding because your old self was never built to handle what's coming. You're becoming someone who can carry more, lead more, endure more, deliver more. And that version of you doesn't show up by accident. That version is built through every painful rep, every lonely night, every moment you chose not to run away from the hard parts.